Hello everyone, welcome to the Software Coding Tutorials channel. My name is Tommy. Today I will be talking about VB6 App using C++ DLL in Windows 11. So why programming Visual Basic 6.0 in 2022? Now the classic Visual Basic 6.0 or VB6 is a 32-bit programming language and has been around for about 24 years now, since 1998. It is known for its COM or Component Object Model programming model, which is simply described as conversation between applications. There are many people who think it is dead. It is very much alive and still running with a few updates in the latest Microsoft operating system, Windows 11. So why making this tutorial? And I wanted to show you the interoperability between two languages, VB6 and C++. Note, this is similar to my previous tutorial between the interoperability between C++ and C#. If you're not familiar with VB6 programming, it is fairly simple to understand and fun to learn, especially in making 32-bit GUI apps. So stay tuned and you might learn something. Now, what's covered in this tutorial? In this tutorial, I will show you how to make a 32-bit C++ DLL that can be used by VB6 under Windows 11. You will need the following: a 32-bit C++ compiler, not 64-bit, and preferably TDM-gcc 5.103 or Ming32. And I provided the link here, and so use that link to download the free compiler. You also need Visual Basic 6.0 Professional or Enterprise. This can be obtained through MSDN, etc. And I assume that you're going to obtain this legally. The third item is dumpbin, which is a Microsoft COF or Common Object File Format binary file dumper or utility. This tool is available when you install Visual C++. You can get this tool when you install C++ component under VS Studio 2022 Community Edition. And here are the steps. So in our first step, we'll be creating our 32-bit DLL. We're going to verify that our DLL is generated correctly using dumpbin.exe. And note, this is a nice tool for future usage. Step 2, we're going to create our VB6 application to load C++ DLL and call the function that are available in our DLL. And then step 3, we sit back and admire our our work. And so stay tuned, and I'll show you the rest of this tutorial. Okay, so open up your VS Code and create a directory called tutorials. Then click on this plus sign and add new file. So the first file we want to do is shared lib.h, and we're going to declare a couple things here. So let's declare if def shared lib.h, then define shared lib.h. Now include string, include IO stream for standard input output, include array, include windows.h. Now this is important for using Win32 functions. Include ole auto.h, and this is for using sys alloc string. Okay, and I'll explain to you why we need that later. And then pragma comment lib. Okay, so we need to declare that, and then using namespace standard, and we're gonna declare if define C++ extern C and then if. And then we're going to declare if define bill my DLL, and we're going to define shared lib standard call, declare spec DLL export. Now these are important basically for the purpose of import and exporting DLL, so you definitely need to include these. Okay, and then just copy this one here, and this is going to be declare spec, but we're going to declare that as DLL import and NF. Okay, so next we're going to declare a couple prototypes for our functions. So the first function is add, so type in int shared lib add in A in B. Second function will be multiply, so double shared lib multiply double A double B. The third function will be demonstrating string copy, so do type void shared lib string copy, and we're going to be using B string data type or B string pointer. So this is the only way we can communicate back and forth between C++ and VB6. Then constant char string 2. Okay, and the next function will be pipe command, so we're going to type in B string shared lib pipe command constant char string command. Okay, and our third will be say something, so we type in void share lib say something constant char string. Okay, and these other functions I would declare them, but they're not going to be exported. Okay, so these could be private functions, so they are standard W string. So this function will be converting to wide string. Okay, and then we're gonna create another function called write debug. So this will help us to write of debug information to a log file somewhere. And then another function called string to B string. So this is a function that will convert our standard C++ string to B string, which is compatible to VB6. Okay, so next we're going to declare if def C++ and then close curly bracket, then nif, and then we also type in nif to finalize our DL. Okay, so this is all everything we need for shared lib.h to work. Okay, so our next step, we're going to create another file, and we're going to call this shared lib.cpp, and we're going to include shared lib.h that we just created earlier. Okay, we're going to define where our debug files going to be located. So let's say for now C colon debug C colon temp debug.txt, okay, for simplicity. And then we're going to add our implementation for the function that we declared earlier. So let's start with add. So type in int add in A, in B, and just return A plus B. We're gonna include now double multiply. So it's gonna be double A, double B, and return A times B. Okay. Next, we're going to implement our two wide string function. So type in standard w string two wide string constant standard string the address of the string. Okay. And here we're going to do w string, and we're going to use the wide character literal. Okay, and then we're going to loop. So for size t I equals 0, I less than string size, I plus plus, and then we're gonna append each character to our string, just like so, and then return our resulting string. Okay, so that will complete our two wide string. Okay, so before we go on to the next step, I made a mistake here, so I need two backslash here. Okay, and then let's implement our the other function. So type b string to b string. So this will convert our standard C++ string to b string, which will be used by VB6. So type in w string result equal to two wide string. Okay, so that's the first step. Then we're gonna say b string equal to sys alloc string, and then convert our result string to b string, and then return the b string that we needed. Okay, so this will complete our implementation for string to b string. Okay, so the next step is implementing the string copy function. So type in void string copy b string pointer constant char string 2. Okay, so we have basically the source and the target. So the string 2 will be copied to string 1 as part of this implementation. So we're gonna say string new string equal to string 2 plus receive. So we want to indicate that this string is copied correctly. So I'm just going to add a note here that we actually received the string, and then b string equal to string to b string new string plus new line, and then we're going to write it to the debug file, new string. Sorry, misspelled right debug, and type string 1 equal to b string. Okay, so when the person copy the string, it's gonna return back through the pointer provided here. And let's save it. Okay, so next function we want to implement is the pipe command. So type in b string pipe command constant jar string command. Okay, so let's make this a little bit bigger. So type in string return is equal to nothing, the empty string. Declare standard array char 80, which is our buffer, array buffer, and we're gonna create a file pipe pointer. So type p open string command and read, and if pipe is not null, if pipe is null, we do a standard error cannot open pipe for reading and line. And so I'm gonna just disable the wiggly thing, syntax checking in VS Code. For some reason it doesn't detect it, but I know for sure it's gonna work. Okay, so next step, we're gonna declare int c equals 0, and we say while f gets buffer data 80 pipe is not equal to null, we're gonna read our pipe and we can print it out to standard out. And I'm going to rewrite this to our debug file. And I'm going to also append to our return string, which VB6 will be using. Okay, and we're going to close the pipe. And we're going to return our string. Okay, but before we want to return the string, we want to do a conversion to b string. So type string to b string and return, pass in our return string. Okay, and that should complete the function we needed for pipe command. Okay, so before we move on to the next function, I made a mistake here. So buff should be buffer. Okay, so buffer, and let's go to our next function. We're gonna declare void say something, and we're gonna pass in constant jar string, and we're gonna do a standard cout I type string end line, and we're gonna do a write debug. So that will be string. Just convert it to string. New line. Okay. And that will complete the say something function. Then we need to create the write debug function. So type void write debug string. Okay, we're gonna declare a file pointer, and so we say file pointer equal fopen debug file that we declare above, and we're gonna open the file and append. So we're gonna do fprintf file pointer %s convert this string to actual C string and close. Okay, so that it will complete our implementation for write debug, and so that will be pretty much the complete implementation for our shared lib.h. Okay, so once again, to summarize everything, we're gonna create two functions, add and a multiply, and the reason why I want to show you this is to show the different data type that we receiving in our VB6 application, right? So here's a type of double, and here's a type of int, and then we also receiving string, right? So that's why we're using b string as the data type of choice that VB6 is compatible to. Okay, and this pipe command, this is a Unix pipe, so this should work under Windows 11, and I'll demonstrate that to you. And say something, we're just passing in a string, and just to show that we can actually pass string, and we can write that to our debug file. Okay, so next step, we're going to create a build.batch file. So click new, type build.bat. Now in our BAT, we're going to declare G++ standard equals C++11 -u strict ANSI. Okay, the reason why we declare this is that it will not work with popen unless we declare this right here. So -c -d build my DLL, and then shared lib.cpp, and then our next command we're gonna type G++ -l dot, okay, so to include our library. So L, okay, -l o l e a u t 32. Okay, and if you don't have this library, find it in one of the system WoW folder, and make sure that it's part of where you're compiling your C++ file. So shared -o shared lib.dll, okay, -wl, and out imp lib shared lib.a, and we're gonna enable standard call fixup. So, and because it's gonna throw some warning, we're gonna include this option here. So that's all the argument we need to compile our library or DLL. Okay, let's open up a terminal and compile our code. So let's type build.bat to see what happened. Okay, so we had run into a couple problems here. So let's go and correct it. So it can't find pragma, and it can't find file close. So I made a couple mistakes here. So let's go to our shared lib.h, and oh, misspelled it, so it should be pragma, not prag. And then I need to include CS standard CSDDIO. Okay, this is for F open or F close. And the other thing we're missing in our shared lib.cpp, it's complaining I have very few parameters here. So let's go back to our function write debug. We need to pass in our file handle. Okay, and let's clear it out, and let's do a build again. Okay, and looks good. Everything builds correctly, and we produce our shared lib.dll. Okay, so our next step is to verify that our DLL is created correctly. So we're gonna type in dumpbin exports shared lib.dll, and I don't see any functions that were exported, so we didn't do it correctly. Okay, so what we need to do is make sure that we're passing in the right arguments here. This is very important. So I'm missing shared lib.o here. Let's save that, and let's do a clear and rebuild. Let's clear again. So type in dumpbin exports and then the function, I'm sorry, the DLL. And as you can see here, these are being exported correctly. Okay, one thing before we go on and building our VB6 application using the C++ DLL, make sure that you have this DLL ole AUT32.dll present inside the same directory that you're building the C++ DLL. Okay, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio's Basic 6.0 IDE. Okay, here we're going to select standard exe and open. Next, we want to go to project and look for component and look for Microsoft Rich Text. And here it is. Okay, so next let's create our GUI. So I'm gonna make it this a little bit bigger. Then I'm gonna drop my rich text box here. Okay, and I'm gonna remove the caption. Okay, and I'm gonna also drop in a few buttons. So one of these buttons I can drop in here, and I can call this OK. And I'm gonna create another button, and I'm gonna call this clear. Okay. And I'll go ahead and save this app. Okay, so next thing, I'm gonna include scroll bars, actually vertical scroll bar for our rich text. Then also for font, let's make it like Courier. Courier new to be exact, and make it size of 14 so it can be easily read, and then go ahead and save it again. Okay, so let's click on the clear button. So when you click on the clear button, you want to clear out the rich text edit, right? So just do that and then save. Okay, so next let's go back to VS Code and copy those functions that we exported from our DLL. So just do a Control C and go back to our Visual Basic IDE and just copy here for reference. Okay, so let's declare our references to the DLL. So first we need to declare option explicit. Okay, then private declare sub string copy lib, and then the path to where the DLL is located will be repo tutorials shared lib.dll. Okay, and we're going to alias it. So the text we copy here, right? So alias will be string copy &8 by ref string 1 as string, and by value string 2 as string. Okay, so that's our first one, and I'll go ahead and do this for the next function. And it's going to be declare function add. So it's going to be alias add &8, and it's going to be by value a as integer, by value b as integer. Okay, and I'll do that for multiply, right? So I can do add multiply. So alias will be multiply at 16, and these are double. And I forgot the return type is double, so I need to declare as double in VB6. Oops, not. And here is as integer. Okay. And I'll copy this. And I'm going to do that for sub say something, right? So it's going to be sub say something, and it's going to be alias as say something at 4, which we write it down there, and it's going to be by value string 1 as string. Okay, and last but not least, we want to do the pipe command. And pipe command is really a function, not a sub. So we say declare function, and that is pipe command, right? Pipe command alias will be pipe command %4, okay, by value string 1 as string, well, we should say string command, and we want to return a string. Okay, so that's pipe command. Okay, so next we're going to convert B string to from C++ to VB6. Okay, so convert B string return from C++ DLL to string used by VB6. So you declare private function B string to VB6 string as string. Okay, in here we're gonna declare a couple of variables. So dim ch as long 0 to 65535 for Unicode, dim I as double, okay, which to hold a long string, dim new string as string, and then we're going to use a for loop, and ASCII W or Y string. So SCW returns the Unicode point for the input character. So this is between 0 and 65535. So we're going to do a for loop for I equal 1 to len B string next, right? Let me move this down for you. So we say ch equal to ASCW mit B string I comma 1. Okay, so this is basically converting a a character of the whole entire string, right, at a certain position. So we can add to our return string. So if ch is greater than 0, then nf new string equal new string ampersand ASCW mit okay, so we're going to concatenate any valid character into our return string. Okay, and then we say B string is equal to new string exit function. Okay, that should complete our function B string to VB6 string. Okay, so if we go back to our form, we click on OK, it's going to take us to the command one click subrouting. So here, this is where I'm going to enter a couple of declaration. So source, target, and this is of course for the string copy function. So dim destination, string, dim result, string, and this is for the pipe command. Okay, so this is for pipe command, and this is for string copy. Dim a as long, dim I as integer. So these are for the multiply function, and this is multiply, and this is for add. Okay, and then dim b as double. I think this is for multiply to be exact. So so we're gonna, first thing is declare our source string for string copy. So source equal to hello world, it's a great world. Okay, so some long string. We're gonna call string copy, and we're gonna copy from source to target. Okay, and we're gonna do destination equal to b string to VB6. Okay, so we're going to convert that to something, this right here will be something Visual Basic can use. So we're going to append that to our rich text box. Okay, so I think I made a mistake here, so it should be rich text box 1. I misspelled it. Okay, and then for our multiply and add, right, we're gonna declare a couple variable here. So I equal to add, let's say 35 plus 45, and then our double. So we're gonna type in multiply, let's say 4.525 times 3.5, you know, whatever. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and do the following. So for each one, we're gonna store that in our rich text. So we're gonna do a string conversion here for our integer. Then we're gonna do that conversions for our multiply. Okay, so next thing we do is for say something. So say something, we pass in a string only. So we say call say something, and let's say hello world. Okay, and for our pipe command, we're gonna say result equal to pipe command, and let's say directory C colon temp. Okay. And we need to convert this to using the vstring to VB6 string. Okay, and then we're gonna append that into our rich text box. Okay, so last but not least, we want to automatically scroll when we append new data to it, so we would need to define this right here. Okay, let's go and test our program by clicking on this play button and immediately click on OK. And you can see that there are data now in our rich text box. Here you can see the hello world, it's a great world. This is actually from our string copy function. This here 80 is from our add function, and here is from our multiply function, and this is basically from our pipe command that we pass in, and so the program returns back this information from DOS. Okay, so click on OK, and you can see that the data keep on changing, right? And our debug text file is becoming larger. Okay, and it works as what we expect. Okay, so this is all the time I have for this tutorial. It's been a long one, and I hope you enjoy this great video. Hopefully you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.